Harper's Jar. I have been dying to know this for quite a while. I always hear
Harper's what?
Harper's Jar.
Jar. Jar?
Yeah, it's what he's calling himself. Or someone called him. I always hear wrestlers talk in shoots about ribs and rib culture, but it is always in past tense, seemingly. Is ribbing still a thing in the wrestling community? Did Dutch see any of it in TNA or his recent WWE run at all? So, yeah, ribs in later TNA or the Zeb Colter run.
Well, you may have one guy ribbing another guy, but it's nothing to the extent it used to be. One of the world's worst, I think, was who was Davey Boy Smith's partner?
Dynamite
Kid. And nobody worse than that guy. He did some serious ribs, but he did some ribs with actual human feces. I mean, things that were like brutal. And like the one that the 1-2-3 Kid did on Sonny.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Sean what?
Waltman.
Sean Waltman. That was a brutal. That was another some excrement from somebody's body. And they did, but nobody does that now anymore. I think if you did that, you'd get fired. I think. But Vince was a big ribber too. So when he'd hear somebody do a rib, I think he would judge first from the creativity of it and the grossness of it. And then he would judge from there. I never knew anybody to get fired because of pulling a rib. And there's been some rough ones over the years. If I think of another one, which I probably will before this podcast is over, I'll throw it out to you.
Well, I was actually just looking when you may have shared a locker room with the Nasty Boys, and you would have done in 1919 WCW. They were known as, people who'd shit in a tub and leave it in the room. That kind
See,
of
I
thing.
didn't use that word, James.
No, but you used other coarse language at the beginning of the podcast as well. So, but that was purely in quotational terms for historical context.
Yeah, I was never around the Nasty Boys that much. But I wasn't. So, they were pretty rough too. I mean, there's one time, I'll remember this. It was, let me remember this right.
Can we pause?
Jerry Jarrett, Tojo, and Jackie Fargo. In Tennessee, they used to have like 2 out of 3 fall matches, but the guys would come back to the dressing room between the first and second fall, take a little 5-minute breather, and they'd go back. They start the second fall. I've never saw this anywhere but Tennessee. And then after the second fall, they'd come back. But one night they come back after the first fall, and Jerry Jarrett sitting in there getting ready to go. And he had some kind of powder that would make you itch. So he went over there to their lockers, took the powder and their underwear, and dumped it in there. And he did the other one. So they came back and they'd get dressed and they put it on and said, well, and Jerry said, well, I'll see you down the road. They said, okay, man, see you tomorrow. Okay. Jackie and Tojo left. I think Jackie Fargo was telling me the story. He said we left and, about 10 minutes I was going. Then I look over, Tojo's going. So they start scratching. It took them about an hour before they realized that somebody had put something in their underwear that made them itch. They had to stop and actually straighten it out and change clothes if they had any, but take those drawers off. And they finally and they knew that Jerry Jarrett had done it. So they asked him the other day, they asked him the next day, did he do it? And he said, what? Of course I didn't do that. Do you think I would do that to you guys? So what they did, Jerry said they waited 2 weeks. Then one night, then they did the same thing to him. Put it in there, and then they left. And then Jerry, I think Jackie was riding with him that night. And he was saying, I'm itching all over. Then finally he said, okay, you son of a bitch. I know what you did. Stop the car. Stop the car. So he had to get out and change too. And then Jackie said, hey, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. See, on ribs like that, you never took credit for it, really. Just with the other people, not with the one you did it with. You never took credit with it.